Okay, you're welcome to this class once again. Today, I would want us to discuss something about verbs. There, there are questions that people have kept asking me, questions bordering around verbs. It's about the classifications of verbs, those areas where you're told something about regular and irregular verbs. Someone will tell you something about transitive and intransitive. Someone will tell you something about finite and non-finite verbs. And from the messages that I have got, so many persons have asked me to explain the difference between these classifications of verbs. And to start with, I would want us to talk about regular and irregular verbs. Now, it is simple to identify a regular verb and an irregular verb. Now, which one is a regular verb and which one is an irregular verb? I am going to use what you have on the board here to explain that. You might not, I'm not sure you will see this in a textbook, so you don't begin to think that this is an official way of explaining this, but it is to make you understand it. If you see it in a textbook, fine, but if you don't, just understand it that this is meant to help you understand it well. Now, what you have on the board are forms that a verb possibly appears in. That is the different forms that you find a verb appear in. We have the first one. This is verb form 1, form 2, form 3, form 4, and form 5. Remember I said this is just for you to understand it. Okay, now, this is the first form that a verb is expected to appear in. Let us say, for example, you have a word like walk. There is nothing added, just the way this word is, walk. If you come over here, you add s, that is why you have this. This becomes walks, right? When you come over here, there is something you have here, ed. So this becomes walked. You come here, there is ing, so it becomes walking. Am I right? Over here, this is walked, ed. Now, these are forms that a verb is expected to appear in. Now, let me tell you something. Somebody might tell you that this is like a rule that should guide the way a verb appears in. The first two that you have here are in the simple present tense form. That is that is about these first two, the simple present tense form. This one is plural, this one is singular, but the both of them are in the simple present tense form. Now, this one is in the simple past tense form of it. When it comes here, it takes ed. That is the simple past tense form of it. Now, this is the progressive form of the verb, where you have ing. That is verb in the continuous tense form. It can be past continuous, it can be present continuous, and it can be future continuous, but it is in the continuous tense form. And this is in the perfect tense form. Take note that you have ed here and ed here, but these two groups are not the same. This is simple past, this is perfect tense form. For this one can stand alone, but we are going to explain this maybe in another video. Okay, now you have a verb this way, the rules guiding them. Where it is supposed to take ed, you find out that this one takes ed. Here it also takes ed. There are verbs that will not obey this rule. These rules rather. There are verbs that would not take these things that are meant for them to be taken. Take for instance, you have something like come. Here you have comes, right? Here you don't have anything like this. No, it will refuse to take this ed. Over here, come will become came. That is the simple past tense form of it. Here you have coming, and here what appears here, it returns to come. Another example is where you have something like cuts. Here is cuts, here is cuts. You have cut in here, and here it returns to cut. Now, whenever you have a verb that accepts ed here and here, that verb is known as irregular verb. That is why you look for the meaning of the definition of a regular verb, and you'll be told that the regular verb is that verb that accepts ed for its past tense and its perfect tense forms. All right. Whenever you come across any word, any verb that does not obey this, maybe it comes here and changes its spelling, or rather it comes here and refuses to take this ed, whether it maintains its spelling or it changes its spelling. That is the way it appears. Now, once it refuses to take this ed, that verb is an irregular verb. That is a form of verb that does not accept ed for its past tense or its perfect tense form. Now, this is simply the difference between an irregular verb and a regular verb. So whenever you come across any of these words, any verb at all, and under the past tense form of it, it does not accept ed, it changes. That verb is an irregular verb. Such a verb like run. If you come here, it will change to ran. Such a verb like go. Do I have it here? No. If you come over here, go will become went. So go is an example of an irregular verb. It's all right. Thank you for that. When next we have a lesson, we're going to be talking about transitive and intransitive verb. Thanks for watching.